So I should have done more research on the RFK Jr. thing and seen what it was exactly that he was making money for. He said that he did do portions of that case. He worked on it himself. It wasn't just something he just got a kickback just to have a kickback. He did work on it.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was gonna say, well, they kind of did the same thing to Cash Patel too. And some of the things I saw is that they were saying he was making money off his media appearances, like going on the Sean Ryan show and going on some of these shows talking about we need to dismember the FBI. And they brought that up. They're like, well, you're running for a position of head of the FBI, but you want to dismember the FBI, and you made money off of these podcasts and made money off of these media appearances, which is kind of like this, I guess, kind of the same thing as the RFK Jr. thing. Maybe not the same thing from a legal perspective, but it does raise the same questions of like, what are your actual intentions on doing this? Are you looking to just get in there and make kickbacks or whatever? But so I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I believe RFK Jr. and Tulsi got confirmed, I believe, yesterday. I think Cash Patel's the last one, or they're finalizing JFK Jr.'s RFK Jr.'s confirmation today, either or. So I'm not sure, but it should be coming to an end.
Right. So RFK Jr. he got confirmed by I believe it was the
Senate?
financial committee.
Oh, financial
Yeah,
committee.
so it
Okay.
was a smaller one. So they did a vote of 14 to 13. 14, he got it sent to the Senate floor. So now he's due for the full vote that will show if he actually gets it or not. So him and Tulsi haven't gotten the Senate vote yet, but they got
Okay.
sent to the Senate. The Pam Bondi chick was the one who actually got. Yeah,
Okay, that's who I saw. Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
She's a savage. She was a Florida Attorney General down here. And when I first moved down here, I remember seeing a lot of stuff about what she was doing. She always hung around that uh he's a sheriff in Polk County, which is the county in between Tampa and Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the guy who always like brings out the pictures of the criminals and he puts them out there. I don't know if you ever seen him. He's an older
Uh
guy, but he's like, yeah, we caught these guys doing this, 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 and then boom, puts them out on the stand and like calls them out. But not Judge, Sheriff Grady something, but she was the attorney general for him. So they were always prosecuting high level criminals and stuff down here in Florida. So I think she's going to be pretty good.
Good.
Seems that she has a focus on kind of everything that's going on with the border and Canada and stuff and illegal immigrants and drug trafficking. So
Speaking of Canada, fucking from the last time we were on here, we get the fucking trade war of the century. The whole fucking crypto market's getting decimated because they thought that we were gonna get smoked,
not even
and
crypto, everything, stocks, bonds, everything fucking took a whack.
cooked. The Canadian dollar, Mexican dollar plummeted against the fucking US dollar, of course. But Bomdo folding instantly on Monday, and the Mexican president saying, okay, we're gonna hold off on the tariffs. We want to talk. We're gonna send troops to the border. We're gonna, prevent fentanyl and other drugs coming through the border. They instantly laid down and bent the knee to Trump, which is a testament to his negotiating tactics. He literally wrote the book, The Art of the Deal, and he's showing people the art of the deal on how you leverage a situation and make sure you get what you want out of a country, knowing that they're not going to be able to withstand the tariffs that he's imposing on them
Mm.
and them trying to impose them back on us, thinking that it's going to affect us the same way it's going to affect them. It's impossible. So instantly they bent the knee and then they got what they wanted. So yeah, I'm curious to think, what do you think about that and how bummed down the Mexican lady, you know, yeah, whatever her name is.
Yeah, well, I think it breaks into two parts. It breaks down into one, the negotiation laying out, Trump laying out like the 25% tariffs, and then him negotiating and getting what he wants out of it. The second part is the actual economics behind it of like who's going to benefit. Obviously, the United States will benefit from it more than Canada's economy will. But the first part, the negotiation, everybody, it sends like a shockwave whenever he announces something like that. It's like everyone, the news, the X and Facebook, like everyone just goes crazy for 6 hours. Like, oh, what does this mean? What does this mean? And that's exactly what he wants. Like that's what he's doing in to the Canadian leaders, to the Mexican leaders. He's sending those same shockwaves through. It's like, okay, well now we have to start planning. Like, what are we going to do if they put 25% tariffs on us? Okay, well, they're not going to buy, like we talked about, they're not going to buy avocados from Mexico. Like they're not going to start buying just other stuff that they have down there, wheat, like other things that other crops from Mexico, maple syrup from Canada, or energy from Canada. So it's like, okay, start realizing what we need to get rid of, our inventory, right? Start selling stuff. Um, and then it's like, what does he want in order for him not to put these tariffs on? So that's what they talked about. They got on a phone call. He wants to secure the border, put troops on there, and he wants to have a fair trade deal. He doesn't, I think that's what the 30 days is for now, is for these next 30 days. So they're going to come up with the trade agreement at this next, it's either you agree to the trade agreement where we're not in a deficit anymore to you guys, or we're going to put these tariffs on. So I think that's what this 30 days is for here, is to come up with the trade agreement that the US isn't going to be losing $100 billion to Canada every year, 200 billion to Mexico every year. Let's find a way that we could all make money from each other. Because what it really comes down to is that the US pretty much props up the Canadian economy, props up the Mexican economy,
Hmm.
and we supply them with the military support. Like, who's going to invade Mexico? It's like you're not going to invade Mexico and try to take over their country, because the United States is right there and they'll just beat you. So it's like they're getting intrinsic value from just being next door to us. So we need to be compensated for that in some way. So now I think you see the military moving down in there. We're going to take control of the border. We're going to, start going after the cartels and have our presence there more, which is, I think, ultimately what happened with that agreement.
And you see that these countries now expect the USA to subsidize whatever they have or what they're doing and prop them up and protect them and the military, etc. Because that's just what they've been used to. And then as soon as somebody comes in and says, "No, we're not doing that anymore," because it doesn't make sense. It's not economically sound for us to do that. Why would we continue to do that? Then they lose it. They're all same thing's happening with the U.S. aid thing, where
Yeah.
they're finding all the ridiculous things that they were sending U.S. aid to around the world, different countries for transgender operations and
Yep.
transgender studies and books and shit. And Doge is looking at this shit and saying, "What are we sending money for around the world? What is this shit?" And then some of these countries in, I believe it was in Africa, were saying, "Oh, you don't want to give us aid anymore for blah 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 blah." And it's and I saw the reaction from some people, which is great. They said, "Yeah,
In the streets.
yeah." They were saying, "Why do we need the U.S. aid? How about the African countries prop themselves up and develop our own economies and develop our own governments and actually take care of ourselves as opposed to just waiting for the government handout?" So, which is exactly right. Why are we sending all this money over there to for what? What happened to the American people? What happened to the American economy? What happened to developing this country, fixing the infrastructure here, developing our school system? We have a subpar school system for how rich of a country we are, a subpar healthcare system for how rich of a country we are. So where's the? It's called U.S. aid. So why not aid the U.S. as opposed to other countries?
Yeah, I think, I did want to talk about this. This was a topic that I definitely had on mind today. And I think it really struck a nerve. You saw people protesting and people saying, "Oh, we didn't elect Elon Musk to do this and that." It's like, one, he's saving money and he's cutting out fraud and abuse of the system, which is what you should want. So if you're protesting and opposite of that, it just shows that you're probably part of the fraud and you're part of the problem there and you're getting kickbacks. But yeah, you're right. It's like these this US aid, which I think it's a complete, like Elon called it, a ball of worms. It's pretty much just a conglomerate of Democrats. And one of the things is that they said, I don't know if you saw this, is that they never denied a payment ever. They never said no to a payment that had to go overseas or internal. They never said no. It was just a free for all. You just take the check, pretty much a blank check whenever you wanted it to write.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you're right in terms of, it's like you're just sending all this money everywhere. And what I think was going on is that people at USAID would meet with these people, like you said, maybe they're in African country, they want a deal to build a water well in their town in Africa or something, and the US people were like, okay, we'll give you this money, but we want a 20% kickback of the deal. And so they're probably just doing these deals all around the world for millions and billions of dollars, lining their own pockets. And now that they want to cut it, US aid is like cut, it's gone. And all these people are like, where am I going to get my money from now? Like, how am I going to survive now that I can't do all this fraud around the world and getting kickbacks? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why people are up in arms in the street trying to get into the office and take it back over and start it up.
And this is good that it's exposing it to the American people. That's why they're freaking out about it with Doge so much. And I saw the things about how, oh, we didn't elect Elon Musk. We didn't put these people in positions of power. When in reality, I was thinking about it, said, no, we actually did 100%.
Yeah.
No. I was fully aware that Elon was going to participate in this administration. He was going to be a part of it. He was going to all the rallies. He was supporting Pompeo.
They made that very clear that Doge was going to be a thing and cut costs and spending.
Exactly. It was not a mystery to anybody. Any administration that gets elected is going to select people that weren't elected or voted for to serve in the administration. That's normal. That's how you get the cabinet.
Yeah, I mean, think of the people that work at USAID lining their pockets with these deals. We didn't elect them, and they're taking our tax money and spending it around the world. So what's the difference?
Great point. Exactly. Who are these people that work there and send the money? We didn't elect them. We
Yeah.
certainly we much more elected Elon than we did the people at the USAID. So
Yes.
between the two, Elon has a much better. He has a lot more support to be doing what he's doing, and so that's why I've that point doesn't make any sense to me. No, we did elect Elon. We were very. It was very clear that he was going to participate. You know who wasn't made very clear that he was going to participate in politics? George Soros. Nobody. He wasn't public about anything. We didn't know
For
about him.
50 years, he's been in the shadows
Yeah,
pulling strings.
yeah, we didn't elect him.